I'm Caleb with Woodshop, and today we're going to make this really cool TV snack tray. And it's actually a really easy project to make. You don't need a lot of wood to make it, so let's check it out. I'm making the top of my table thing about 16 inches long. When I broke this board down, I used my jigsaw, so I got a weird raggedy end that's not square, so I'm going to cut it a little bit over length and then I'll cut it down to its final size later. Now that I got the panel cut to its final length, could easily just glue this up as it is now. And this edge on each side of the board, it's got a rough edge and then a planed edge, and that actually goes together really seamlessly, and that would make a nice top. But just for the aesthetic, I want to cut these into thinner strips and then glue it together. That'll remove some of the width and make it a little narrower from the kerf of the blade, and I think just the look of the strips will look cool. I've got my fence set a little less than 2 inches away from the blade so I can start cutting my top into strips. I've also rotated some of these boards around, so when I do the glue up, the end grain will kind of have an alternating pattern. So I'm doing the panel first so that this whole thing could be drying while I work on other stuff. So y'all, it's important to note on big panel glue ups like this where you got lots of strips, not to crank your clamps down super tight because you could cause your panel to bow or it could pop out. So you really only want just enough pressure to where you see glue squeezing out, and that's all you need to see to know that you've got it clamped good enough. You don't have to crank them down as tight as they'll go. This is gonna be my base. I cut all these strips, assemble it together. I'm gonna need to take these 3 center strips and drill some pocket holes in them so I can assemble it. I'm using glue and screws to hold this together. So I'm gonna glue and screw the legs to the base. To attach the top, I'm only going to use screws because this top panel, the wood is going to want to expand and contract. I've cut these 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch strips, and the idea here is that they'll just add some support because this white oak is really heavy. So this whole front of the tabletop is going to be being pulled down by gravity, and the idea is that these being butted up against the legs will provide some resistance this direction to just kind of help keep things straight. And I'm gluing and screwing them on here. No need to go all wild with the finish. I'm just gonna use a Danish oil. No, I probably shouldn't, but I like the smell of Danish oil. Alright, now actually I've had this in the house for a good minute. And Danish oil may not have been the finish of choice that I should have used. I thought it would look good, but it really didn't offer much surface protection. So I had a little bit of raised grain from cups with condensation and stuff. So I went ahead and sanded that down and lacquered over just the top. I think the rest looks fine. You can have it right up here if you need it, or if you don't need it, it can store off to the side. I think my wife likes it because she's kind of taking it over. It's where she does her tablet stuff at. I don't really get to use it. If you liked and enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure and subscribe to this channel too, because I have new woodworking projects every Friday. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.